Morning. Day 51. It is pretty cold this morning. It was cold last night. Not too bad though. Not like the Smoky. It rained last night. Pretty good. You hear that now? That's not rain anymore. That's sleet. It's letting up a little bit. It's cold. I don't want to get out of my tent. But I gotta go meet Karen in 6 or 7 hours. Some road crossing. And we're gonna go into Damascus for a few days. It's so cold. But it's just been a while since I've had to deal with the cold. Yesterday it was so hot. It was so hot yesterday. Oh. Anyway, day 51. Guess I'll get up and get moving. Look at this. What do we have here? I don't know. 5/19/2022. That definitely is older than 4 years. There we go. Uncle Nick Grindstaff, born December 26, 1851, died July 22nd, 1923. That is, oh, I'm gonna stand there. That is an interesting gravestone. Very interesting. I mean, you run across a lot of them out here. Not a lot, there's probably 8 or 9. That's probably the oldest, most interesting one I've seen yet. Morning guys, still day 51. Pretty cool little gravestone, huh? I don't normally see them like that. They're usually smaller. Well, if you can't tell, it's pretty miserable. This is probably the second most miserable day I've had out here. I thought it was like 36, 37, but I just checked my temperature gauge. It says 34, which means it was a lot colder earlier. And at least the rain stopped, the sleet stopped. It was just getting pelted with both of them at the same time. But that's okay. I got the gear for that. But this is the bad part right here, the trail. See how wide that trail is? That ain't very wide. And every bit of that grass is wet, which means my shoes and socks are soaked along with my feet. This is a pretty miserable day, but I got to do about 11 miles, and then I'll meet Karen, and I can get out of it. Everybody else I've been hiking with, they're going to have to keep up it in another day. Woo! I was just saying earlier, at least it's not windy. And the wind started picking up, but at least the rain stopped. All right, hopefully the knee holds out. I had a bad issue with it yesterday. I really thought I was done. I took a couple of really long breaks and came back, and I just walked slower and made it to where I was going. Hopefully it holds out. All right, hope you guys are having a better morning than me. I don't know if we're on private property or not. I had to go through the gate, but this is definitely the trail. This is one of the more popular places that people video because there's a barn right over here. I don't know if you can see it. Everybody videotapes that barn. I don't know why, but I'll do it too for you. There's the AT symbol. I don't know why everybody videotapes that barn, but it's got a cool AT symbol. Maybe that's it. The gate was a little bit of a challenge to get through, but I made it. Right across the gate was a road and a little parking spot. Nomad was there again. He drives up and down the trail in a camper giving out trail matches. So he's like, I'm not setting up till tomorrow. He saw me coming. He goes, you want some Oreos? I was like, hell yeah, I want some Oreos. Nice little rolling hills view. I'm eating Oreos. Somebody made a nice little bench here. rain guard on the bag, so now to close up the chair. Oh, it's nice to sit. Just sitting here eating Oreos in the freezing cold wind. It's a good day. Oh, well, it's about lunchtime, day 51. I'm pretty far ahead of schedule as far as meeting Karen. She was a little bit behind, so I think I'm gonna meet her in about 3 hours and 3.5 miles up. So that's about an hour and a half for me, an hour and 40 minutes. So I'm just waiting at this shelter, stopped at the shelter here. It's cold. Just made some coffee and just thought I'd enjoy the morning a little bit more. And I'll grab a snack. So this is interesting. Yesterday I hit 440 miles. Obviously that's 20% of the trail. So it's day 50. Day 50 at 20%. I went back and I looked on day to see when I crossed the 10% mark. That was at day 32. So it took me 32 days to get 10% and then 18 days to get the next 10%. So I'm definitely getting stronger, getting faster. I just wish somebody would memo my knees, but they seem to be they're great today. So that's pretty good. Hopefully I'm cut down that time a little bit more. Moving up into Virginia. Should hit Virginia tomorrow. And that'll be 3 states down. So just hanging out and enjoying the morning today. All right. That's probably all I'll do today. Karen's going to pick me up. We got to stay at this Speckled Trout in Damascus, Virginia. Not Maryland. Damascus, Virginia. All right. That's the day. See ya. Morning, guys. Day 52. Karen picked me up yesterday on the road, a little over 10 miles in. Drove me into Damascus. We stayed the night there at the Speckled Trout, which is kind of a weird contemporary hotel. Nobody's there. It's just everything's sent to you via text. You know, like door codes, things like that. It was okay. It's fine. Nice place. I like it. She drove me back. We had breakfast at the diner, and then she drove me back out here where she picked me up. So it was about 15-mile slack pack. Woo! Slack pack back into town. And I'll probably take a 0 tomorrow. I got so much stuff to do. So that was called the McQueen Gap Shelter. I think it was McQueen Gap. That was the the most rudimentary shelter I have seen yet. But you know what? It was set in a perfect spot. Got a campfire right there. You keep yourself warm. Enough room in there for 3, maybe 4 little people. That's all you need, right? Looked pretty cool to me. We're on some level ground finally, so I'll tell you this little funny little story from yesterday. So you saw the videos yesterday. It was cold and it was wet and I was getting pelted with sleet at the same time. It was raining and sleeting at the same time, and I was walking. I was like, ugh. And the road, the path was like that, so my socks and my feet and everything were getting soaked. Just like, miserable day. Anyway, I was hiking it and I was like, well, at least it's not windy. You know, try to find the positive. Try to find a positive in those things. And I'm like, well, at least it ain't windy. And I'm not 20 feet further, I passed this little bluff area, and it's like, start getting wind. I was like, oh, that sucks. And so I was just getting pelted with it sideways. And okay, I gotta find the positive in something. So, well, at least I don't have to go in the woods and launch a torpedo. Take a number 2. And it was funny. I was like, okay, at least I don't have to go to the bathroom tonight right now. It would really suck to have to do that. I hiked a few more miles up, and when I was up on that bald on that little bench there, one of my buddies showed up. He left before me, and he came up behind me, which means I go to the bathroom, and he came up behind. He's like, I did something I didn't believe I'd ever have to do. I had to go in the woods and take a dump right in the sleet and in the rain and the wind. Anyway. no matter, I guess the motto is, well, the saying is, no matter how bad things are, they can always get worse, right? At least I didn't have to do that yesterday. He was complaining so much, it was pretty funny. Anyway, that's about it. Funny day. So I just got a text, got some more bad news. This young kid that I was hiking with from the beginning, like we had dinner the first night at Springer Mountain, the very first shelter, at the very start of the trail, and he was the kid. I don't remember if I told you, he had sliced his hand open whittling for the first time. It was pretty deep, but the kid pushed on, and he'd healed up, and he was going good. And I texted him last night, and I'm like, hey man, because he's way ahead of me. Young kid, like 22, something like that, 23. And I was like, where are you at now? And this text just came through, and he said he had to get off trail, broke his toe. And I'm like, oh, you got to get off trail, you break your toe. You kind of need all of them out here. And I was like, that sucks. I'm telling you, it's almost, what are we, Damascus is 470 miles in. 470 miles in still. People dropping. There was a guy yesterday at the shelter that I was drying my stuff. This is fun. He came up, old guy, kind of like me, about my age. And we were talking. And he's like, I'm no hiker. And I'm like, me neither. I'm not a hiker either. He's the first guy I've run into out here who is not a hiker either. He just wanted to do it. But he said he blew out his quad a while back, and he thought he was done then, but he kept pushing through. Kind of like me and my knees. I say, you just keep moving, the injury kind of heals itself. It's just like you just keep moving. You know, if you just set up and lay down for a while, it just seems to get worse, and then it takes longer to heal. But if you keep moving, it seems to heal up. So far, knock on wood. And but the night before at the shelter, he took off his shoes and socks, and I looked at his foot, and it was like, ooh, what's wrong with your foot? Oh, hold on, I gotta get through this. We're talking about what was that? Gunslinger and his foot. Yeah. So he took off his shoe and sock at the camp night before last, and his foot was all swelled up, and he had this huge wound on it, on the side of it. And I was like, good God, man, what is wrong with your foot? And he said he boiled some water and then accidentally spilled it on his foot. And it was nasty. And I was like, oh, man, you can't mess with that. I mean, I don't know that would knock me out. It was pretty swollen, and he was limping pretty bad the next day. But I would definitely go to the emergency room, man. That's your foot. You can lose your foot with that wound. That was nasty. So the only other hiker that's not a hiker out here doing this, I don't know if he's gonna make it. I mean, I hope he does, but that foot wound was ugly. And I hope he makes it, but I didn't get his number. I should check up on him. This was just off the trail. Thought I'd hit it, and I don't know how the view's coming across in the camera. It's the best view I've had yet. It's probably just grabbing the trees, isn't it? I can't tell my glasses on. But, so when Karen came down for this visit, I had her bring some extra stuff down because I'm kind of in between switching out my winter gear and whatever. And I said, you know what? Bring the bathroom scale. So I've weighed myself at multiple hospitals, and all their scales are just messed up. Some of them have me gaining weight. I mean, in the same building, there'd be two of them, one gaining weight and one losing weight. And I said, bring our scale home, because I know what I weighed before I left the house. I figure I'd lost 3-4 pounds tops. 10 pounds. I have dropped 10 pounds. That is just not good. You don't want to lose that kind of weight out here, because it'll catch up to you. I thought I'd been beating weight. I mean, I take olive oil, I'll put it in my dinners, and doing everything I can short of just eating crap. Candy, just eating multiple candy bars, Pop-Tarts, just the crap that all these people have to eat out here. And I was like, oh, they're doing it by choice. Well, not by choice. They're doing it because they need to. For me, I'd have to do, I either got to do that or I got to start packing more meals and eat a meal for breakfast. One of those dehydrated meals is, you know, is anywhere between 800 and 1100 calories, and it's kind of what I need. But man, 10 pounds is a lot. Gonna have to address that. Hey guys, momentous occasion here. Look at this. We are entering Mount Rogers National Forest. Damascus 3.5 miles, but here's the important one. Look at this. Tennessee, Virginia state line. That's the Tennessee, Virginia. We're in Tennessee. Now we're in Virginia. Now we're in Tennessee. Now we're in Virginia. And now we can say goodbye to Tennessee. That means we are 3 states down. Only 11 more to go. Virginia, we're going to be in Virginia a while. I think the AT, as long as it is, the state that is the longest in is Virginia. But that's okay. 3 states down. I don't know what mileage we're at. We're probably 480 somewhere. Oh, no, probably about 460. We are at 466.5. That's where we're at. How about that? Huh? Never thought I would have made it. We're in Virginia. We're officially in Damascus from hiking, not from just riding. And you got the famous sign